So you just got a dive mask. Here's why you need to burn it. All right, so you're not gonna want to burn them with a flame like that, but any sort of handheld lighter that you can find at like a liquor store or something like that will do just fine. But just wanted to show you that all these masks here, can you tell which ones have been treated and which ones haven't? Short answer is you really can't tell. So I have this aqua lung here that you can find in probably any snorkeling set on Amazon, Walmart, kind of your typical snorkeling mask. I have a Spear Pro one here, a Cressy one here, and a Gull Vader here. This pertains to all masks, whether it's these brands or some other brand, whether it be an entry-level price point like this one or a little bit more higher end like these. It does not matter. This applies to all of them. If you want to avoid fogging, that's what we're going to be doing today. Is going to be defogging or prepping masks so they do not fog when you're diving, because we all know if you haven't been out and have had fogged up goggles, masks, it is extremely annoying and ruins the entire experience, whether you be snorkeling in Hawaii, where you're free diving, or you're going out spearfishing, whatever it is, it's really annoying. So let's get down to it. I'm gonna be breaking down how to prep masks so you can have a fogless experience. Well, I'm gonna be using or treating this Spear Pro mask as an example, but again, this process pertains to any mask that you would get, whether it be from a dive shop, Amazon, wherever. So anyway, this is gonna be our test. And before we dive into it, let's see how long this takes to fog up untreated. So I just put this on my face, put it on, I'm in a controlled environment, and see how long it takes. And also we'll compare that to after we treat it. I'm gonna put it on my face and just do the same thing and see how long it takes to fog up, or if it does at all. So here we go. We have the mask. You're also gonna need some sort of toothbrush. Some sort of brush like this is fine. Toothpaste, a lighter. I personally like to use these kind of barbecue lighters that you get at like pretty much anywhere. This will come in handy when you are lighting, kind of directing the flame in the mask. You can use kind of the standard smaller lighters, but I like this. It gives me a little bit more control and gets my hand away from that heat. Some dish soap and then some water. I have a bowl of water here, but ideally use a sink. So yeah, we have the prep gear. Let's get it started. Let's get this mask treated so it doesn't fog up. This test is going to be a little bit subjective because I'm determining when it is fogged enough. So I'm looking at the screen ahead of me, and once it gets to a certain point, I'll try to remember that as best as possible so I can stop at the same time when it is treated. But here it is fogging up, untreated, and we do end up with 1 minute and 51 seconds for the test. So for every mask that you receive from any company, there's going to be a protective film coming from the factory that protects this glass. So what you want to do is we want to remove that film, because that film is the main culprit for creating fog on the mask. So what you want to do is first we're going to burn, clean it, or scrub, rinse, and then dry. 4 steps, and then we'll have a mask prepped for diving. So what we want to do is first grab our lighter. This is probably the most important part, and probably the part that most of you are probably scared of doing. You just bought a nice little mask and you want to make sure that you don't damage it or ruin it and have to buy another one. So what I'm going to do is, again, I like the one with the stick, so it gives me a little bit more control. Turn it on, and what we're going to do is look for, you're going to start noticing kind of this burning effect, and you'll see that film get burned off. And once you get to the edges, you want to be very careful not to leave the flame too long in one place, because we don't want to damage the outside of the mask. And it's really by feel, and if you don't want to be too quick with it because you're scared of burning things, you want to be very smooth, let it rest, and you'll see me do it right now. So here we go. See that burning right there? Move it along. Get to the edges. I'm gonna take a break, let it kind of dry out, but you'll see there That black stuff is that film burning off. And if I grab my finger and do that, you can see that the film has come off. Now I have to clean my hands, but you see the idea. And then we're going to continue this until we get most of the area here. So I'm missing that part there. So what I'll do is, again, be careful with the temps. Going pretty quickly here. Just let it rest a little bit. If you're nervous, take your time and make sure every area gets covered. So like that, rest. If you feel like it's getting too hot for your liking, you could totally take a break, let it rest. You don't. And don't be afraid to get really close to those edges. If you are a little bit wary of getting too close to that edge, we can address that with the toothpaste later. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but just kind of get the main areas. And you'll see here that pretty much most of it's burned off. So how I can tell is, watch that. Look at that. Film is off of there, and you can see kind of the difference there. I did have this microfiber towel laying around, so I'm going to use that. Get this off. I haven't added anything else to the towel. This is just a dry towel. Get off that film. Do the best job that you can. Here we go. All right, so looking pretty good. Looks exactly the same, right? But we just burned off the film, and it is one step closer to being a better anti-fog or heavily fog-reduced mask. All right, here's the next step. And if you don't feel comfortable using that lighter, you can actually you could skip that step entirely and go straight to the toothpaste method. And all you're going to do is just like brushing your teeth. Grab a toothbrush, and you could apply it directly on as well. And what you're going to do is a little bit of water and essentially scrub inside. You're focusing on the lens portion, obviously, but I like to use the burning method because it seems a little more thorough with getting rid of the film. Why you use toothpaste is actually you are using the very gentle but abrasive characteristics of toothpaste to remove any of that leftover film from the factory on your mask. So just be very thorough, and I'm just focusing on the lenses. And ideally, I would recommend you do this in a sink, and then as you're doing this, you are rinsing, and then you could repeat the process if you'd like, but one good scrub should do just fine. Okay, good measure, there it is. So again, I would recommend using a sink, but for the sake of the video, a nice bowl of water. Let's go through and remove that toothpaste. Just, yeah, if you have a sink, obviously have the water running. You can use your finger. You don't have to use a brush at this point to just essentially just remove the toothpaste. That's all you want to do. We're almost there. I still have some residual left here of toothpaste. I'm gonna clean that up and I'll be right back. For the sake of video, we're gonna move forward. And with that toothbrush, we're gonna use dish soap. Some here, and this is not, doesn't take off the film or anything like that, but what you want to, the point of this step is to remove any potential, mainly toothpaste, from being stuck in your mask and eventually burning your eyeballs. So, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but irritating your eyes when you are down there. And that's all that this step is for. Just remove any sort of leftover film residue or toothpaste from your mask. And so again, I would use a sink, but I'll be right back. I'm gonna rinse this off and then I'll be back for the test where we test the fogging characteristics, or should be anti-fogging, of this mask. Now let's see if it actually works. On the left-hand side is the video you saw before, the test or the control, no treating whatsoever. And on the right-hand side is what we just did, the burn, the toothpaste, dish soap, and dry. And you could see a big difference. Here on the left-hand side, we get to a minute 51. And then on the right-hand side, we're still going till 3 minutes past with virtually no fogging. So as you can see from the test, the treating doesn't necessarily completely eliminate fog, especially in these conditions outside of the water. I don't think any mask would. However, it drastically reduces the likelihood of fog. And I can tell you from experience and having multiple sets of masks that you must do this regardless of whether you have this is a more dedicated scuba type of mask. You just bought a kit to go on vacation with the family, and you just bought kind of the kit that comes with the fins, same thing. You want to treat your masks before you go out and hit the water. So another pro tip is after you've treated it, or just say you bought a set like this, you're on vacation, you want to go snorkeling, you bought a set, and yeah, you don't want to burn it, or you're just at the beach, and you want to do what you can to make it less foggy. Ideally, you want to burn it or use toothpaste. If you don't have that, I would say go back to the hotel and at least use some toothpaste. But if you don't have that, you need to go in soon. Regardless if you treated your mask or not, what I would do is highly suggest if you don't have anti-fog and rub it in, you spit in your goggles. And what I mean is you spit, you rub it all around, and you let it sit for a little bit, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. And essentially, after you're done with that, go into the ocean and just give it a good rinse, clear out the spit, and then put it on. And that will drastically reduce the likelihood of fogging as well. I do this every time I go on a dive, before I hit the water, right before I put on my camera and all that stuff. I'll spit in my goggles, let it sit. I'll put on my gloves, kind of the other things I need to put on before I hit the water. Rinse the mask, put it on, ready to go. And then I hit the water. So hope you found this video helpful. Again, it's not just this type of mask or any other mask. Treat it before you hit the water. You will thank me later for it. Mask is such a big part of the experience of diving. So be sure, not only from a safety standpoint, but from an enjoyment standpoint, you want to enjoy and be able to see everything down there. So hope you enjoyed this video. Glad it was helpful, or hopefully it was helpful. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Dive Spear Eat for more content like this. Let me know if this was helpful for you, or if you have any other tips that can help reduce the likelihood of fogging a mask on a dive. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.